What you up to, Julia?
Yeah.
I see bags and everything put away.
Oh, yes.
It's gone. You still have an hour and a half until you have your taxi?
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, I have to clean it.
Yeah, it looks really good in here already.
Yeah,
So,
but
just making it extra nice.
It will be like in 1 minute or two.
Okay. Let me grab some shoes on and I'll help you take things down.
thank you.
I'm just gonna put this here.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
It was a pleasure.
Yes. We're gonna miss you.
So much.
Too. Me too.
And she's gone. And then there were two. Hey everybody, it's Victoria. I'm so glad you could join me. I am an American who's currently living in Bilbao, Spain. I am a master's student in the NOHA Masters in International Humanitarian Action Program, both here at the University of Deusto and at the University of Malta. Today is day 30 of quarantine and it is April 13th. So the biggest thing that happened today is Giulia left and she's on her way to Italy. She just landed in Barcelona and then here in a couple of days she's going to catch a boat and then go back home to Italy to be with her family. I'm really sad that she's gone. After she left in the middle of the afternoon. I was doing some cleaning before she left, and then Alvaro and I helped her carry her stuff down so she could go to the airport. And now she's gone. Yeah. Now that she's gone, it's like waiting for it was a lot harder like yesterday, but today it wasn't as hard because it's like she's feeling better about going and I'm happy that she's making the right decision for her. Even though selfishly I wish she would have stayed. But I guess that means I have more time to work on homework instead of hanging out with my flatmate Giulia. I don't know, that's not a good trade-off in my mind, but it might work better for my schoolwork. Yeah, and then after that, Alvaro and I have been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and so we watched a couple of episodes just to like not have our emotions overwhelm us in the middle of the afternoon, which was good. I'm really loving that show. I'm assuming that we're gonna finish the rest of the entire TV series by the end of the week. So yeah, and then I worked on some schoolwork for a while, getting everything organized, cleaned my room, cleaned my office area place where I do all my homework. Yeah, just did basic things to start getting life in order and getting organized because I haven't been very organized the last while because I've just been like, first week was panic mode. I have no idea what I'm doing. Second week was denial. Is this really happening? Schoolwork is starting back up. How is this going to work? What am I doing? I have no idea which way is up. And then last week was, okay, we're having some research classes and schedule has been kind of crazy and just kind of adjusting to being home. I'm sure people understand that adjusting to being home is definitely a process, but I'm feeling like today I'm like stepping into like better habits. I mean, I made a list of all the homework I need to get done for my Spanish class. It's not a short list. And then I, after that, worked on some of the Spanish. I worked on getting other things organized, and it's nice to check things off of the list, like cleaning my room, cleaning the office, doing a load of laundry, and just getting things more together and like making my bed before I film this video, because sometimes I film this video and it's like 9 p.m. and I'm filming and then I just toss my blanket up and it doesn't look very nice, but I'm trying to keep, if I can keep it more orderly and neat, that might be very helpful. I guess school's definitely going to be more huge priority. Got some other homework I need to work on. We've got our clapping here in about 40 minutes at 8 o'clock. So I figured I'd just film this to get it taken care of. I'm so sad you're gone, Giulia. I need to wash my hands for touching my face, but it's the right decision, and eventually it'll be just me here. But hopefully by the time it's just me here, I'll be able to leave and go do things. Definitely conflicted about all this. Like, I'm very happy for her that she's getting to go be with her family, and she's like not having to spend money on rent, and she's able to like not cook. She doesn't have to cook every meal, like, especially since she's gluten free. So yeah, I'm gonna miss her a lot. When you're quarantined in a house with somebody for 30 days, you really get to know them quite well. And when I remember our first conversation we had, it was like we arrived like in the same week, and when she arrived, it was, I flew in on the last Monday of January from Malta for things, which was the January 24th, and in the evening got here, checked in, left all my stuff here, unpacked somewhat, and then I flew the next day from Bilbao to Barcelona, and I spent like 3 days in Barcelona with my friend Sophia, who came and visited me, and she normally lives in China, but now she's living in Antigua because it's a complicated mess. She's originally from Antigua. She works in China, didn't want to be there. She was in Europe for her Chinese New Year and then didn't want to go back to China. So instead of going back to China, she went back to Antigua, but now she needs to be back in China for her work, but she can't get to back in China because she's on an island in the Caribbean and she can't get a flight back. Long story, that's a long story. But anyway, I hung out with her in Barcelona for a while, and then we had, wait, this is February. No, it was the 27th. That makes more sense. The 27th of January, not February. And then we flew back and we drove from Barcelona to Bilbao, and we stopped at, it was an interesting trip. We went the scenic route because we wanted to see the mountains, and then I ended up driving in the dark through the mountains, and I couldn't see which way was around, and it was confusing. At least people drive on the correct side of the road here, and I didn't have a manual because I have no idea how to drive a manual. And it was a fun trip, and then we went and we got here, and then Julia arrived that day that we arrived with our car here, and so Soph got to meet my 2 last roommates, the last people here. And I remember our first conversation with Julia, she was fresh from Italy, and I have been in Malta, and my Spanish was even more terrible when I arrived in Spain than it was even now. It's not good, but I picked up a lot more things because I'm using it fairly frequently. Instead of saying what when somebody knocks on my door, I just say que. So we ended up having this conversation where it was the most stilted conversation ever, because she studied English in school in Italy, like all through school, but she hadn't used it very much, and I have the only knowledge of Italian I have is through commercial media and through phrases like pasta and pizza and ravioli and fettuccine and food related things that came out of Italy that I like to eat. So from there we had a conversation that was mostly in Spanish and English and then a little bit of Italian, and it was like so complicated to follow. And then by the time she left, her English was a lot better and my Spanish was better, and we were having grand old deep conversations about life, and I'm gonna miss that a lot. And yeah, really good roommate. I'm gonna miss her. So try not to get too hard in my feelings, because if I get too far in my feelings, I'll be like Drake or something and just lose it. This is a time where I gotta let my rational decision maker take control and not just get overwhelmed by things. I am so glad you could join me. There is applause at the end of this video. and it is for all of our essential workers who are continuing to work during this crisis. You are much appreciated, and we couldn't do this without you. Thank you for keeping the world running while everyone else does what they can to keep you safe by staying at home to just make things better. I hope that you are doing well and that you are staying home with your families, and not going out and making exceptions, because the more exceptions you make, the more the virus will spread. So yeah, keep safe, make smart decisions, wash your hands, all these other things. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe if you want to see more of these. I'm doing a lot of them. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Good night. Bye. Everything's sad. Not the first one without her, just the first where she's not living here.
Oh, yeah.
People are probably working.
What do you mean, like, it's hard to...
You start the day late because you can, at home.
Yeah?
People like start their work day late and then they work later. I don't know.
So today, normally since I work right now, I start working.
There?
rock and roll.